This is Mick and the Fat Man, and we're talking life and music from the 60s through to the noughties. Well, welcome everybody to episode number 16 of Mick and the Fat Man Talking Music, and we have been on a merry journey since we last spoke, completing our work as lockdown commissioners for the Communicable Diseases Network of Australia, assessing COVID lockdown procedures and quality control across the east coast of Australia. And boy, have we been on a journey. Mick dragged out a brand new Russian Ural motorbike with a sidecar and has taken us across New South Wales to magnificent places like Walgett, Wilcannia, White Cliffs, Wee Waa, Warialda, Werris Creek, Wagga Wagga, Wellington, Warren, Walla Walla, Woodstock and Warilla, to name a few. But alas, this has come to an end. And we have returned to our respective lockdown locations. Mick is back reading rock history books, while I'm doing a very nice confit of duck with a sour cherry sauce. Mick, how are you going today, mate?
Mate, I'm just fine. I'm a little bit shaken up from the trip on the Ural, and I must say I'm surprised that we were able to visit so many towns starting with W.
That's amazing. What did you think of the bike, mate?
Well, I've always loved Russian engineering. It's sort of like American without the reliability.
Yeah. Look, I've been to the chiropractor since I've been back. And he's done a lot of work on the back after sitting in that sidecar for a week. But, feeling pretty good now, mate.
That's great. I mean, the Ural distribution of the Ural in Australia is underwritten by the Chiropractic Society.
Yeah. It's difficult to get a service on it in Warialda. We had a few troubles there, and it wasn't straightforward getting it serviced out there, was it, mate?
Well, when we finally worked out that we could go to the Massey Ferguson tractor shop to get the service, we were fine.
Yeah. But at the time, we didn't know. We thought you had to get an authorised Ural service centre. And, I think we were okay in Wagga Wagga. We could, because realistically, we actually did get it serviced in pretty much every town we went to, didn't we?
We did. The old guys coming up and saying, didn't we beat them in World War II?
Yeah. But
a severe crisis of memory there, I think.
Yeah, no, it was a great talking point, and we loved every minute of our drive around the place. And, we ate some good fare as well as we moved around the state. And really, we saw some great procedures in a lot of the outback towns as COVID is now whizzing through the outback of New South Wales, and really, basically, I think it's probably going to kill a few, to be honest with you, mate. Anyway, look, let's move on. What have you been listening to this week, buddy?
Well, mate, I thought I'd go back and listen to something a little more modern than some of the things we talk about, something from the late 80s, early 90s, the Indigo Girls.
Love the Indigo
in particular.
Girls.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. In particular, a song called 1, 2, 3, which is a song from 1990. Look, I like them. They're a bit of a California-type folky band. They're from that all-girl movement, but they sing very good what's called counterpoint melodies against each other, and that's very, very nice. In particular, it's the only other song that I found a reference to the Mercy seat. You recall we talked about Nick Cave and the Mercy seat being the electric chair?
Yeah.
And these people define life as being from the altar to the Mercy seat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Always something of historical interest.
You'd have to have a lot of Mercy seats if everybody was going to go, leave their mortal coil via a Mercy seat. But anyway.
Well, it's sort of a bit of a queue, a bit of a everyone has to book a schedule.
Now, is a Mercy seat
Logan's Run style?
Oh no, yeah, do a bit of floating around and get shot.
Yeah.
Is the Mercy seat an electric chair or lethal injection or what? Any idea?
Well, that's interesting. I've always interpreted it based on Nick's song as the electric chair.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Because in Nick's chair, he talks about his head being burning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
30,000 volts up the Khyber Pass will get you going, wouldn't it, mate?
That'll do it to you every time.
Now, I've been listening to the 1993 album by Pete Townshend called Psychoderelic. Pete's always got this idea of doing a concept album. Obviously, he was instrumental in doing Tommy, which was a highly successful album and movie. And I think everybody can remember the baked bean scene out of Tommy. Then he's gone on, he's done Quadrophenia, which I think had very variable success. He went and did another one called Iron Man, which was a bit shit. And then he's done this other one called Psychoderelic, and it's all right. There's some good songs on it. And the premise of it is a little bit weird, but if you can get hold of just the music only, and otherwise it's one of these albums which has got speaking between the songs and it's all a bit deep and meaningful, I'd avoid it if you can possibly. If you can get hold of the original, just the music, there's some good old-fashioned Pete Townshend rock on there. One of the great songs, I'm an English Boy, really good. However, if you really want to get a hold of some good Townshend, don't go there first. Try White City or All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes for your if you want to get a Townshend fix. Let's get back to you, Mick, digging around, and I'm glad you brought the Globite back down to your dungeon, and I'll get you to rattle around in it and pull out something delectable for us to talk about today, mate.
Well, mate, I will do that. And I must say, I was looking a bit bruised and battered because we did take it on the back of the Ural, and the lack of adequate suspension has really taken its toll on the poor old bloody Globite. But I think it's good for at least another 50 episodes.
Oh, they're tough bands.
Will be right.
They're tough bands.
They are indeed.
Yeah. What do you got in there, mate?
Mate, I thought since it was so popular doing the lockdown episode, where we talked about a whole range of different things, I think we'll do that again. So what we want to talk about today is songs about heroin.
Oh, that's nice. Not a heroin, as in a hero type person.
No, this is not a Disney production.
Right. So we're really talking about heroin, the drug.
Yes. Now you might be very surprised to find that we're gonna conflate heroin and rock music. But there it is.
Oh, okay. So look, I've decided to have a little bit of a year to looking at the top 40. We'll look at 1997, and that's got a little link to heroin in there. Is that everybody knows the heroin? Well, maybe not everybody, but most people in the world probably know that heroin has its origin in poppies, grown in places, fairly dodgy places where there's drug lords and warlords and all the rest of it. But oddly enough, in 1997, it was the first crop of a hybrid poppy that was planted in Tasmania, Australia. For those of you who don't know, Tasmania, part of Australia, just off the south coast of the mainland, and it's a beautiful little island, but it actually grows licit, not illicit, licit poppies, and has done so, in fact, since the 1970s. But in 1994, a poppy that was very high in a chemical precursor for oxycodone was produced. And this led to Tasmania ending up supplying something like 80% of the world's raw materials for oxycodone, which is really a cousin of the drug heroin. And so while the world's law enforcement were double down on illicit drugs, stopping illegal drugs entering the countries, Tasmania fueled a addiction crisis mostly across the US, as American pharmaceutical companies basically loaded up the population with oxycodone, turned them all into addicts and killed shitloads of them. But back in the day down in Tassie, if you were able to produce some really nice poppies with a really high alkaloid count, you'd get a nice new Beamer or a Merc for your trouble. So it was great, and it kind of stopped doing it a little bit now, but certainly caused a lot of ruckus over in the US, and the companies who were doing it were basically being sued to the hilt at the moment. So, fun little thing for 1997. But interestingly, the charts were dominated by the single, of course, Barbie Girl by
Aqua.
By Aqua, that's right. They did have another song, and I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, Barbie Girl. But I was looking at the top albums of 1997, and look, I don't know that there's been a worse year for albums, but this is probably up there. There's two Celine Dion albums in the top albums of 1997. There's two Spice Girls albums. There's a Hanson album. Who remembers Hanson? Tina Arena's up there. Human Nature's there. John Farnham. You know you're doing it tough when you got a greatest hits album of John Farnham in there. And I think one of the top of the pops was, of course, the Diane, Princess of Wales tribute album, because in fact she died that year as well. So look, 1997, great year. There was one good note out of 1997 that Silverchair actually had a album in there. So it's a 1997, great year. Dead Princess, bad music. Let's move on, mate.
Given that list of music, it's probably no wonder that we've got an association with heroin.
Oh, geez.
It's a bloody awful list.
It would turn you towards it, wouldn't it? Eh? I mean, we went back into the 70s a couple of shows ago, and there was a great list of albums in there. And you look at this and you think, what a load of crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, because I think also Titanic came out then as well. So there was that awful song by Celine Dion that every chick on every bloody talent show which kept on trying to sing, and they couldn't sing because Celine Dion could sing at such a radically high level. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about heroin, man. Dude.
Now, look, we've actually talked about heroin on occasions in some of the podcasts we've already done, and it'll really come as no surprise that probably straight off the curb is Velvet Underground, who actually did a song called Heroin about taking heroin and the effect it has on the brain.
Oh, that's right, they did too.
They did indeed. Look, it was a great song, very well done, and when you look at it as a piece of writing, I think Lou Reed did a terrific job on that song. Those of you who went and listened to it after the podcast, not exactly a song that most people would have heard, unless you're a Velvet fan or a Lou Reed fan, but I think you would have been impressed when you went and had a listen to it.
And is that the song where the drumming just kind of runs out halfway through?
Yeah, it does indeed.
It just stops. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Poor old no.
It's almost as if the drummer went, "Oh, fuck this, I'm going."
No. Her microphone cut out. No Tucker's microphone, and nobody noticed.
No, but and they didn't see. I think we mentioned this last when we did talk about the Velvets that if you in today someone would actually go, "Oh, cut, let's do that again because the drums cut out." They went, "No, that'll do."
Because they didn't have a lot of money and they were on a clock.
Yeah, that's all right. Anyway, good song.
And on the same, it is a great song, and even better, like the archetype, two guitars, bass and drums, waiting for the man. And the man is the drug dealer in a part of downtown Manhattan. And that, again, is your typical, I'm waiting for the man, $26 in my hand. So he's just waiting to score a deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Lou Reed, after the Velvet Underground broke up, continued that on. And we've talked about his album Transformer, where he has a song called Perfect Day, which, again, is about taking heroin and going for a walk out to the attractions in New York.
Is that right? I didn't know it was about heroin. There you go.
Yeah, see the things you find out. We should listen to this podcast, I reckon.
Yeah. I'll recommend it to me.
Okay, I'll send you a link. I'll subscribe you.
Yeah, thanks. I can have a listen to it and learn about heroin.
And just by the way, if you're enjoying this podcast, you can subscribe and leave us a great review so we can keep making them.
And if you do hear it, just search for Mick and the Fat Man on the internet and you'll find us all over the place. We're even in Podbay.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And places I've never heard of.
No, I'd never heard of Podbay and we're on Amazon. Did you know Amazon did podcasts? Well, they do.
No, I didn't. But Jeff rang me from space and he said, "Mate, I've been listening to the podcast. It's really good. Can you keep on doing them?" And I said, "No worries, Jeff."
He's a good bloke too.
He is. Yeah. And I thought, he looked really good up in space.
Yeah.
All right. He looks certainly better than Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, bloody.
But anyway, that's another story. The Stranglers had a song about heroin. called Golden Brown. I think a lot of people would know Golden Brown. Lovely harpsichord sound, lovely sounding song. It's about bloody drugs.
Yeah, Golden Brown, indeed. And
you were saying something about Nick Drake.
Well, yeah, because for some reason when I've got a few Spotify playlists, which just like keep updating themselves, but I keep getting Nick Drake songs in there, and I'm thinking it's not even in a 70s playlist or anything like that. It's in like a modern playlist, and up comes Nick Drake song. I think they're a good song, but interesting. I know you're a fan of Celesta, and you always have been, big fan of Celesta. But when you're just talking about the harpsichord, on the 1971 album, Brighter Later by Nick Drake, there's this little song called Fly, a lovely melodic song, but that has John Cale playing the harpsichord. And guess what else he played on that song?
Probably your favourite rocket instrument.
Yeah, the viola. And it goes. No, I didn't. It sounds like a nice song. Dig out a bit of Nick Drake. I'll put a link in there because he's a good artist. He died unfortunately, but anyway, good artist.
He did actually.
Yeah.
Look, but what's funny? There's two things. First of all, because of the connections, he was connected to everyone, and everyone thinks that he's terrific. And I bought a couple of Nick Drake albums, and oh God, he's so boring.
No,
really,
see, Mick. Sometimes I know you and I disagree on this. Sometimes it's nice to have some music in the background while you're doing things that you don't necessarily listen to. They're just there, and they're just not.
Well, that's perfect.
And that's perfect. That's the sort of stuff. Sometimes you just do that. You don't always have to have the music really, really loud. And you and I have had discussions about this previously. Because I still remember going somewhere back in the day to your place and I'm trying to talk to you. We're trying to have a chat between you and your wife and some lady, and it's not background, Mick. It's called rock. It's like going to a concert at your house. I'm trying to talk to you.
Well, if music's good enough to be played so you don't have to listen to it, it's good enough not to be played at all.
I know, but I'm a sort of person that needs a little bit of noise in the background, just add a little something, and I like Nick Drake. So I'll put a link in for Nick Drake, the artist, in Spotify, but you won't have to listen to it.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned John Cale, interestingly, a member of the Velvet Underground, and he had quite a prolific solo career afterwards. Like a lot of artists over 40 years. Some of it's crap. Most of it's terrific. But John Cale, when he was with the Velvets, he was also known to dabble in heroin.
No.
And he actually took it. Yes, surprisingly. I mean, when you see pictures of them, you just wouldn't have thought it.
No.
Yeah.
Like they're just like wearing school uniforms, aren't they? They're just nice kids.
Well, that's right, yeah. And wearing his sunglasses during the day.
Sure. Anyway.
But one thing we did talk about with the Velvets is how unsuccessful they were commercially, and Cale had to save up to get a small hit.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so and it was incredibly cheap in New York in the late 60s and early 70s.
You think Andy Warhol could have slipped him a bit?
Well, he was trying to catch drugs off everybody that he could, so he never had a lot of money either.
I think actually, but like all good artists, they're much more valuable when they're dead.
Absolutely.
And I think Andy Warhol wasn't absolutely loaded when he was alive, but it was certainly, like so many other artists, they're always great when they're dead. They're grateful to be dead, in fact.
Yeah, well, that's right. And if he could take advantage of that, he'd be loaded now.
Yeah, he would.
Just whack out a couple of pictures and here we go.
That's right. Brett Whiteley, Australian artist. I won't say any of the others that are floating around, but there was lots of very poor artists who would be, I think, relatively surprised at how much their artwork is worth nowadays. Toulouse-Lautrec, I'm not saying Toulouse-Lautrec, but there's one person.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Look, and since we've touched on New York and Andy Warhol and Cale in New York in the 60s, the reason for the proliferation, I mean, heroin in one form or another, along with cocaine, has been involved with music and the arts. for a long time, as far back as Lewis Carroll,
Sure.
writing Alice in Wonderland. That's a cocaine trip.
Yeah.
But the reason for the proliferation of heroin in America and the Western world was the Vietnam War.
Yes.
So that introduced a lot of the troops who came from the US Midwest into Vietnam, right in the middle of the Golden Triangle. Hello. So,
That's right.
So they met and got interested in heroin and brought it back.
Yeah.
It was like any sort of pandemic, to be topical. They brought it back and it disseminated its way through the community.
And of course, we have when I was talking about that story before about the poppies growing in Tasmania, the Americans actually wouldn't allow the drug originally to be imported into America because they had a trade deal with Turkey to import. That's where else could you? But Turkey and a few other places, a few other Middle Eastern type of places where they got all their heroin type, illicit drugs from.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest that Tasmania probably would have been the prettiest place they could have grown heroin.
I love a map of Tasmania.
Yeah, and who doesn't? And who doesn't?
What happened to the maps of Tasmania? They're all gone.
Don't go there.
I want them back.
What danger, Will Robinson? Danger. I don't know if you've heard of the Godfathers, who were an up-and-coming band in the 80s. Unfortunately, they didn't go very far, and we might touch on them sometime in the future. They had an album called Birth, School, Work, Death, which had a line in it, heroin was the love you gave from the cradle to the grave. It was a very bleak song, as in, life is crap, you're born, it's crap, then you die. Warren Zevon, we've talked about.
Yep.
We talked about the song Carmelita.
Indeed.
And it's got a very telling line in the middle there. The county won't give me no more methadone, and they cut off your welfare check. Now, that was also recorded by Linda Ronstadt.
I know.
Song,
and it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song by her, and you don't realise what it's about.
Well, that's exactly right. The funniest thing is that some of these really bleak songs are great rock and roll songs, all great ballads. James Brown did a spoken word that I think you discovered, spoken word song called King Heroin.
That's right.
Pink Floyd. Everyone knows Comfortably Numb by Pink Floyd.
Indeed.
Heroin.
Yep.
So it's all there. It's in all of the songs. It's in all of the albums and all of the bands that we listen to and take for granted. And heroin is there. The Chili Peppers. Very, very, over the last 20 or 30 years, the Red Hot Chili Peppers have been extremely commercially successful. They had a song called Under the Bridge, which is about shooting up heroin.
Under the Bridge.
And Anthony Kiedis, who is the lead singer, the guy with the long straight hair, he was devastated when an original member of the band, Hillel Slovak, overdosed in 1988 because he and Kiedis were very, very close. And Kiedis and the guitarist of the band, John Frusciante, I understand, struggled with drug addiction through the 90s. So Kiedis has actually written a book about, talking about all of this stuff. And so success isn't really an arbiter about whether you take drugs or not, whether you take heroin or not.
No, that's right. And particularly if you've got enough money to pay for it, that's always helpful.
Well, it certainly attracts people who want to limpet themselves to a money source.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of money being spent on that stuff, hasn't there?
Exactly. James, look, this was really interesting when, and I know you found the same, when we were researching this episode. There's a bunch of songs that come up and they're fairly obvious about being about drugs. And the next couple are two of those. But there's also lots of other stuff, particularly in Australia. So as we go through this, I was really concerned that it might just end up like a list. Yeah. But there's lots of stories and lots of impacts that the drug has had on bands and on music and on people that we'll try and take some little detours to talk about. Neil Young, everybody knows the song "The Needle and the Damage Done," and it is about drugs. It's fairly obvious that one's about drugs. Yeah. And it's one of many songs that Young wrote referring to Danny Whitten, who was he was a roadie of the band. He was a good friend of Young's who overdosed.
Yeah. And Neil always guilty about sacking him from the band.
Yeah.
Paid him the money to get back home, to fly back home, and basically topped himself not long after that.
Yeah.
Well,
and no one ever knows whether that was deliberate or not, but clearly he would have been very depressed about the situation.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Yeah. Not pleasant.
No. Stones.
The Rolling Stones.
Stones.
Yeah. Now, anyone knows knows the immediate association between the Stones and drugs, and a couple of albums in particular. Sticky Fingers in 1971.
Yep.
So many of the songs on the album are about drugs. I say drugs in general, but I'm talking about heroin. It was a drug very much associated with the band. The song "Dead Flowers" has got a very telling line in the verse that says, "I'll be in my basement room with a needle and a spoon."
Oh, never noticed that.
It's there, mate. Sister Morphine,
of course.
And Keith was heavily addicted to heroin at the time of recording Sticky Fingers, and you can tell. We've talked about barbiturate heaviness of songs on occasion, and you can actually tell that heroin heaviness of some of the songs on Sticky Fingers. It's great music,
fantastic,
inspired music almost.
Yeah, fantastic.
But that heroin it's got its thumbprint all over everything. That album was recorded at a number of locations, including in Alabama at the famous Muscle Shoals studio. Lots of drugs everywhere.
Yep.
And New Musical Express, one of the leading long-time musical newspaper magazines, quoted that during this album, Keith Richards had begun his heroin-assisted slide into unreliability.
That's nice. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, he didn't even play on some of the songs on the album.
Is that right?
Mick Taylor was there, and he was being introduced to heroin when they were making Sticky Fingers.
Mick,
and
heroin,
stuffed him up something awful.
Yeah. Mick, this is heroin. I'd like to introduce you.
Yeah. Well, he'd say, "Oh, good. I'll have some of that. Thanks very much." And he's talked about that in the time since leaving the Rolling Stones. Took him some time to get over that because it grabs, and apparently, so never having tried heroin myself, it's grabs hold and just will not let go. Far stronger than nicotine or alcohol. And the band, when they were recording Sticky Fingers, they were working up to Exiles on Main Street, and I know that you found some interesting things about the Stones and Exiles in Main Street when they were recording at Richards' villa in the south of France, a place called Nelcote, which they went to escape from paying British taxes.
Yeah, because the new tax system came in. I think you had to pay 93% of your it's like a wealth tax type of thing. I think it was 93 or 95% you had to pay. And in fact, after Sticky Fingers, they actually were a bit broke. They didn't have a lot of money. And so they fled over to the south of France, as you would when you're broke. You go to a villa in south of France. And that villa's down basically between Nice and Monaco on the coast. And I was been watching, there's a show I've been watching on Stan, not sure now, one of them. It's called 1971, the year that music changed everything. And they got quite a bit on the Stones recording at the villa there. And actually, oddly enough, when Keith arrived at the villa, he was clean. He must have gone into rehab or something like that before he went down the south of France. Clean of heroin, but they used to have like very long lunches with shitloads of wine. And however, they employed a chef from Marseille who had connections with organised crime, who was giving them free heroin. Well, they thought it was free for a while until they had to pay for it. And one day, a whole bunch of criminals came in and basically just took their instruments and left. It's because they owed so much money. And I think they left the villa in southern France.
Yeah. It's certainly a turbulent time, and whilst heroin wasn't solely to blame, it was a big player in some of the confusion around the Rolling Stones at that time. But funnily enough, it stuffed up Richards for a while. Mick Taylor, we've just talked about all of this, but the period is regarded as their best as far as music goes.
Yeah, and that
certainly
album,
the period. Yeah,
that album when it first came,
Yep.
that album when it first came out wasn't particularly well received. But nowadays, if you look at any of the great albums lists, it's always on there, and it's probably better regarded now than what it was when it first came out.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it's amazing that Keith, has lived on from that era. I remember he's even lived on long enough to be able to climb a coconut tree and fall out and get a brain hemorrhage.
Oh, bloody hell! Yeah. the man is so blessed, so lucky.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed.
Yeah.
I'm constantly amazed that he's alive. And you often see memes and Facebook and those sorts of things of him, and you just look at the bloke and think, God, that's alive. Got to be kidding me. Anyway, moving on, mate. Moving on.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, just one last thing about the Stones, is that because they were broke, they got involved with a PR company who were really good, who came up with the line that the Rolling Stones are the greatest rock and roll band in the world. They had to tour to generate some money to repay all of the debts and all of that sort of thing. So the title as the greatest rock and roll band in the world, whilst they've established it and earned it, was their own.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think also some of it was also that they weren't managed particularly well in the time, and I think
Not at all. Yeah.
Mick Jagger basically took over the management of it and started up their own album and all the rest of their own label as well. With the tongue hanging out.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they did. So it's funny, things that we take for granted now came out of the most desperate times for the band.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever heard of a band called The Only Ones, who had a song called Another Girl, Another Planet?
No.
Nice band. And we can put that one on the show notes.
The Only Ones. Where do you find some of these bands?
Oh, mate. Well,
your life's troublesome if you've got these sorts of things in your brain. I just really worry about you sometimes, mate.
Is that what it is?
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, you can find quite a bit about this song and this band, and I think we should put it in the show notes. It's got a line in it: "You get under my skin, I don't find it irritating," and it's always been regarded as a heroin song. Okay. And there's a quote: the lead from Ash, a well-known rock band in the 80s. Took me a long time to figure out that it's about drugs, not a girl from another planet, and that space travel is a metaphor for being high. The singer, Peter, the guy who wrote it, Peter Perrett, he declared that the song later was inspired by a girl and it's not about heroin.
Oh,
sounds like a bit of blatant life revisionism to me.
Yeah, as you do sometimes.
Yeah, and I think if people have a listen to the playlist that we provide you, you'll find that song on there, and I think you'll agree with me that he's being a little bit disingenuous there where he says it's not about drugs.
Okay. He might have been going for a loan or something like that.
Well, that's right. They had to put up a good image.
Yeah. That's right.
There's another New York band who well known, the Heartbreakers in New York, and Johnny Thunders. David Johansen was the lead singer of the Heartbreakers. Johnny Thunders, he OG'd. He was an original member of the New York Dolls, along with along with David Johansen and a whole bunch of other people. And he had a song called Chinese Rocks. And it says, "I'm living on Chinese rocks. All my best things are in hock. I'm living on Chinese rocks. Everything's in the pawn shop." And he OG'd in 91.
I've never heard that.
Funny about that.
What?
But he never went back to get his stuff out of the pawn shop.
Is Chinese rocks a term for heroin? Is it? Oh,
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chinese rock is a name for a specific type of heroin.
Oh, okay.
Because the bulk of the Chinese sourcing is from Southeast Asia.
Sure.
Yeah. And whether it's Chinese or not, it's a bit like the Chinese flu.
Oh, that's right. You wouldn't want to get the Chinese flu.
No, you wouldn't.
Could turn into a pandemic for all you know.
Yeah. This is not just underground overseas bands that we're talking about who've written songs or been impacted by heroin. There's some Australian songs. James Rain, you recall back a while back now in '87. James Rain had a single called Hammerhead.
Yeah.
That's about heroin.
Is it?
Yep. With Olivia Newton-John singing the backing vocals.
Was she on heroin?
No, she wasn't.
Oh.
He was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, so the story goes.
Oh,
and,
okay. I believe you.
Yeah. And the song's about drugs, but it's framed as a relationship with him, with a supposed girl called Hammerhead.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, nice name for a girl, yeah.
Do you reckon he got on with Olivia?
You couldn't blame him.
Oh.
No, apparently they've been friends for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Just friends.
Just friends.
Yeah. There's much discussion about his strangled pronunciation style.
Yeah.
But I never had too much trouble understanding him.
I never understood a word he bloody said. I don't know how you could have done
Yeah, well, maybe it's all in the mindset.
Yeah, maybe.
And there's I love reading people's interpretation of what they think a song says.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
I've said it before. I used to think all sorts of words were there, but they're not. And in fact, someone gave me one of those daily word calendars for the year, which we had all those things that you misunderstandings of songs. And there's about there was about 365 of them, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And young Mr. Hendricks saying, "Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
Yeah, that's right. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah. Well, since we mentioned
Speaking of Hendricks, he was onto the gear, wasn't he?
Well, apparently not.
No.
He certainly wasn't pure as the driven snow. He certainly had his tastes and penchant for chemical assistance, but heroin is not one that's been typically ascribed to him.
I would have bet $1 million that he died of heroin overdose.
You'd be $1 million down.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've always thought that he died of heroin overdose.
No. There's quite a few stories. There's a really good one, another podcast actually, if people want to listen. It's called The 27 Club, which talks about, very well researched, and it talks about Hendricks. Because he's part of the 27 Club, rock stars who died at 27.
Yeah.
Hendricks, Cobain, Morrison, Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
And it's very well researched, and you can do yourself a favour and have a bit of a listen. It's interesting, it's lively, but it buys right into the conspiracy theory of what he died of, how it happened, why it happened, and where he got the drugs from, and did he take them at all?
Oh, okay, really?
Yeah, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff.
Wow, that's really interesting because I would have the impression I watched this I had this documentary series called Dancing in the Streets, British documentary series.
Oh yes, I know that one.
Great documentary. But they were talking about Hendricks, and I just assumed when they were talking about that he was a heroin addict and he died of heroin overdose. But there you go. That's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Look it up and have a listen.
I will.
Anyway, Beasts of Bourbon.
Yeah.
They're a sort of well-known Australian pub rock band.
Yeah.
They had a song on one of their albums called "Chase the Dragon," which is a name for inhaling burnt heroin. You put it on a piece of foil and put a light underneath it and breathe it in, a bit like opium.
Oh, okay.
And the line that tells the story is, "I brought back a souvenir all the way from Kampuchea, a plastic bag up my ass." Yeah, so not much subtlety there. It's pretty clear what that song's all about, guys. Yeah. Cold Chisel. They had a friend. Heard she died on the needle. She was crucified.
Baby, that was years ago.
It was, indeed. Yeah. So big bands making reference to heroin. Movies.
Yeah.
Movies. It's everywhere in movies, and two in particular that I want to mention. Christiane F. It's a song. It's a movie about taking drugs in Germany, in Berlin at the time, and in particular, it's the soundtrack was by Bowie, notable for the German version of Heroes, a song called Helden, which is Heroes in Germany, and it's a really good version. I like it as much, if not better, than the original version of Heroes.
I've never heard of that movie.
Christiane F. Really?
No.
There was. Oh, okay. Yeah, and the album was the soundtrack album. That was really, really good.
Oh, there you go. All right, I'll find that one.
Yeah. So go and find that one if you could for us, mate.
Oh, well, it's
yeah, why about it?
Oh,
and the other one, of course, is Train Spotting.
Brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Brilliant movie.
Again about heroin, but the soundtrack, Lust for Life and Night Clubbing by Iggy Pop with Bowie.
And also, there's the use of oxycodone up the and
exactly.
and when he goes into the toilet to put the oxycodone into the appropriate orifice.
Yeah. Well, precisely. It investigated a whole lot of different ways of taking opiates.
Yeah, great movie. Love that movie.
Yeah, good.
And when you were talking before about Comfortably Numb, there's a great scene in there where they're basically going into the cotton wool, and getting consumed in cotton wool. Beautiful.
Yeah, in the movie of
Train Spotting.
Oh right, yes, of course. Yeah. Lots of other people are on that soundtrack. New Order, Lou Reed.
Yeah, great
Blur.
soundtrack. Great soundtrack.
Yeah. And Brian Eno.
What's he on?
With Daniel Lanois.
Oh, okay. There you go. Forgotten that.
It's all great. It's all great stuff.
My memory's not that great anymore, as you know. But
no.
And what about?
I don't know if you've got any excuses.
I don't think I do. Oh, ate too much duck, maybe, when I was in France.
That could be it.
That could be it. I think it's probably it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. What else you got for us? Keep them coming. Yeah. Let's do a bit of a list first for the next 5 minutes, and then we might call it quits, mate.
I think so. There's a lot of well-known artists, some of whom are still at the top of the game, who've acknowledged their use of the heroin or died from it.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
No.
Russell Brand.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Angelina Jolie, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Pink.
No wonder the marriage split up. It's terrible.
Well, she married Billy Bob. So
yeah.
She
married Billy Bob Thornton
at one point. Yeah.
God Almighty.
Yeah, and that was a weird one.
I could imagine.
It certainly established her weird credentials.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. Russell Brand. Yeah, I knew about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Tyler and Joe Perry were known, Aerosmith, they were known as the Toxic Twins, and the band's fortunes were in freefall until Rick Rubin.
Hey, Ricky Rubin.
Rick Rubin, who was involved with Run DMC.
Yep.
They did a cover of Walk This Way, you might recall.
Oh, I do indeed.
I was watching. They made a rap version.
Yeah, I was watching the clip the other day, actually. It's a great clip. Because they're in two rooms beside each other in a hotel sort of thing, and having this competition about who can be the loudest. It's a great song, great clip.
Precisely, yeah, and yeah, it is a good clip. And Rick Rubin, the credentials he's got for bringing people back from the abyss is just fantastic. If you were an artist, you'd have to be happy with having Rick Rubin.
Have a look.
Looking after your career.
Look up Rick Rubin. Have a look at his his production credits, which I think is it's got its own list on Wikipedia. Like there's Rick Rubin, all about Rick Rubin, and it said if you want to see what he's produced, here's a special Rick Rubin page of what he's produced. So it's got its own page, and it is an amazing list. An amazing list.
Wow. Yeah. So he doesn't look it, but he's a man who knows what he's talking about and does what he promises.
It makes you wonder. I mean, because he's not a spring chicken anymore, but he can still get work producing. But you think over all these years of listening to loud music, your ears must go a little bit. And I think producers never like giving their age because they don't want to appear to be old. But eventually they get old. But he can still make great music, which is great.
He can, and he's certainly got the record to fall back on.
Oh, he's got. I think he could probably have a rest now if he wanted to.
Yeah, Eric Clapton.
Yes, indeed.
He towards the end of the '60s, he was well into the gear. He got off heroin, and he was good friends with George Harrison, who helped him a lot. And every time I hear something about George Harrison, it's always positive. There's a lot of shysters in the rock music industry and a lot of people trying to take advantage, but Harrison was not one of those.
No, and in fact, in that documentary I was talking about with Rick Rubin and Paul McCartney, Paul talks very, very nicely about George and talks about him becoming a song, his growth as a songwriter as the band went on. And I think we mentioned previously that he actually wrote 3 songs on Revolver, which is quite a lot. But he for a non McCartney Lennon, the greatest writing duo probably ever. But there's 3 songs of his on Taxman. He really did thrive as a great writer as he went on.
Yeah. It's good to hear that about some people. It's a shame he's gone.
It is. It's a great loss.
A few more people, and because we are running out of time again. I'm well aware of that.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, of all people.
No,
yeah,
can't be
believe
true.
it or not.
No, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I think you're lying.
Yeah.
Couldn't be. He's too nice.
I heard a great joke about Samuel L. Jackson. He seems like a nice guy. I heard a great joke about him the other day, which I cannot put onto air no matter what we're talking about. But anyway, I'll tell you off air.
Oh, bugger. Okay.
Nico from the Velvet Underground and Nico. When she was playing in Sydney, she couldn't go on until she'd scored because she was hanging out.
Really?
So the promoter had to send people out trying to score for her.
Didn't even know she came
and
to
my
Sydney.
source for that is very good.
Okay, there you go. I didn't know she came to Sydney. There you go.
Yeah, I didn't know.
No.
Quite some time ago.
Obviously didn't get the mail.
Elliot Smith. Didn't you? Oh, I thought I invited you to the show.
Yeah, Elliot Smith.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Okay.
Elliot Smith. Look up some of his stuff. He's really nice. He spent prodigious amounts on heroin. He was depressed and you just wondered, did heroin help it or cause it? Guns N' Roses, I don't need to talk too much about them. A moving train wreck of drug addiction and everything that goes with it.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne, you have to
No, that's not true. That is not true.
I know.
You look at him today and there's no way in the world that guy's taken any drugs.
Yeah, exactly. He scarcely even knows his own name. The Cure, believe it or not, their early stuff, they'd all take heroin and sit around the lounge room being depressed around the time of 17 Seconds, their third album.
I can believe that.
Yeah. Stevie Wright.
Stevie Wright, poor old Stevie. My God, he
did an OD. Yeah. He got on the gear and he died from medical complications caused by decades of drug abuse.
Oh, I know. Did you remember they did was it Countdown? They did a concert. No, it was the 70s and 60s bands or something like that. Someone did a big concert. He sung Evie, but he sung it out of a wheelchair.
Oh, dear. Yeah. His body shut down.
Yeah. No, he was a mess. I remember seeing him interviewed once on TV. And you think back to Friday on My Mind and some of those great songs from the Easy Beats, and there he was living in a caravan in a vacant block of land. Poor bastard. Yeah. Poor bastard.
Yeah. Great, big successful guy.
Yeah.
Marianne Faithfull.
Oh yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, she did an interview with Mojo magazine quite a few years back, where she walked around with the interviewer showing the places where she used to score in London.
She nearly died. She nearly died from a heroin overdose, I think, didn't she?
Yeah, she was in hospital a few times with overdoses. Once when she was Mick Jagger's girlfriend.
Yeah, that's right. It was when she was involved with Mick and the Stones that she nearly died. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Cave. Yeah. He got busted. He went through rehab and gave it up. And in an interview soon after that, he said, "Look, it's hard getting by without my chemical armour."
Oh, is that right?
That's an interesting way of describing it. The Go-Betweens, a middle-level success. I think they're terrific, but they didn't have a lot in your top 40 chart. Lindy Morrison and them.
Good band though.
They were great. Lindy Morrison, the drummer. She's quoted in a book called The Birthday Party and Other Epic Adventures, talking about Grant McClellan and Robert Foster sitting in a shooting circle with the Bad Seeds in London and dismissing that as boys' childish behaviour.
Jesus. I like the fact that Brisbane has a bridge called the Go-Between.
Yeah, that's only fair.
That's great. Yeah.
Lots of people have OD'd. River Phoenix, inspiring the song.
Yeah. He'll never be an old man river.
Thank you, Chisholm. As usual, tasteful and respectful.
Yeah, Chisholm, I want to be John Bonham's Coke roadie.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, John Belushi, Tommy Bolan, Mark Hunter, he died of cancer, but it wasn't helped by his drug use.
Is that right? That's right. Yeah, I forgot he died of. Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw him. He was. They basically given up all hope, and so he was going to America to try ancient Indian cures.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. You're pretty much on the way out when you got to resort to that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Kurt Cobain.
Yeah,
sure. He was a man with mission, and that was to kill himself.
Yeah.
Before he finally died in April '94, he tried already before that, a month before in Paris.
Really?
And a man with severe depression issues.
I went to Jim Morrison's grave in Paris.
Yeah.
Hard to find, really hard to find. But and unremarkable. But anyway, I went there once before to try and find it. Couldn't find it. Anyway, the last time we were in Paris, I found it. I was very excited. Took a photo of it. I'll show it to you one day. It's rubbish.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
They I think I have seen it. They deliberately don't publicise it because at one point it was just people were there all the time, leaving rubbish, graffitiing all over the damn thing, which isn't nice for anybody else who's got somebody buried in that graveyard.
Yeah. I can't remember the name. Le Chase or something like that. It's called. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, Père Lachaise. Yeah. And if we're talking about drugs and heroin in particular, how could we forget John Simon Ritchie, also known as Sid Vicious? He was a heroin addict since his early teens.
Yeah.
His mother got him on it and supplied his gear.
Oh, God, that's nice. And good on your mum.
Yeah.
She's a gem.
Plays together. Yeah.
Oh, good old mum. That's lovely.
He was frequently off his head when he was playing live with the Pistols.
Yeah.
Which anyone who saw them live is well able to attest. He got the job because he looked the part. Malcolm McLaren, the manager, was nothing if not a shyster.
Yeah, that's right.
He wanted them to look like this tough band from the streets. So he got the job because he looked the part rather than any musical ability.
Well, I don't think he had any, did he? Could he play
the
guitar?
He was pretty ordinary. Yeah. And then he had a solo career where he did a version of My Way.
My Way, yes.
for What Is a Brat? What has he got? Yeah. Not real good.
Terrible.
There was a movie about Sid, and it's called Sid and Nancy.
Yeah.
And there's a line in the movie. I don't know whether it's totally accurate, but I think it sums it all up and says Sid's talking to Nancy in a hotel in New York. He says, Nancy, it'll all be okay once we get to New York. And Nancy says, Sid, we've been here for 2 weeks.
That's very good.
And that's as good a point as any to finish on, I think, mate.
Yeah, fair enough. As I said last show, if you were listening, we've opened it up to listen to questions. So make sure if you're interested in sending us an email, ask us a question. Now, I've got a question here from Lovechild62. And they are asking, are we aware, and I'll put this out to you, Mick, are we aware of the use of the Celesta in any other rock songs apart from the Velvets? You got any off the top of your head, mate?
Look, just sort of reaching back, I think Iggy Pop used it in one of his songs as just hidden in the mix there somewhere.
Iggy Pop used the Celesta?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Okay, well there you go, love child. Go off and see. We'll drag that out of somewhere and put a link in it for you. You can go and have a listen to another song with the Celesta, which I know you'll be very excited about, folks. So look, that's it to everybody. Thanks, Mick, for another exciting show. I hope to see you again one day. I haven't seen you for a while. We might get out of lockdown by Christmas. We could have a Christmas party together, perhaps, and do a podcast. That'd be good.
It'd be lovely.
It'd be lovely. So, look, folks, remember we've got a Facebook page, so follow us on Facebook. Also, we've got an Instagram page out there as well. Hit us up on the email. Send us a question. Mick is always ready to answer questions, particularly about the Celesta. Be sure also to jump onto the show notes and follow the links. I did notice that if you're using the links, if you're using Apple Podcast on the computer, for some reason the links don't work. Don't know why, but they do on a phone. So that I don't know what to do about that. There's nothing I think we can do. So make sure you check out the show notes and subscribe to us wherever you can subscribe. But we're kind of everywhere. We're out on Spotify, we're in Apple, we're in Stitcher, we're in iHeart, we're on Podbay, we're on Amazon, we're on Buzzsprout, I beg your pardon, I don't know where that came from. So you'll find, as I said, you'll find all the suggested listening links on the show notes. Mick's fastidious about getting those show notes up and running and in order, and we'll point you to any tracks and point out any special tracks or artists that you should have a look at. Don't forget to rate us up on Apple there and be nice, give us a nice good score, and leave a little review. We'll read out a review. We were going to do one this week, we forgot, I think. So look, folks, that's about it. Thank you very much for listening. Look forward to seeing you again next week as we come to you live from our dungeons, and have a good one. See you later, folks.
Bye.